It's time to get started on our last viewport for our tiny house poster. What we're going to do is create this exterior walls framing plan. So we're only going to worry about the exterior walls, and we're going to put those into this last viewport. I'm going to open up an older document to show you how to get started on that. You have most of the work created for this already. It happened when you ran your framing plan to create the 2D diagram and the isometric model. So all the work for these is there, and I'm going to show you how to get started right now. In an older document, you'll see right now I'm on my 2D diagram layer. And all I've done is I've gone around the building, and any of these frame numbers for these walls that are an exterior wall, you can see that I've highlighted those in red, and I've made a list. So my exterior walls are walls 1, 2, 22, 4, 5, 6, 15, and 21. They're the walls that make up all of my exterior walls of this building, and they're the ones that we'll include in the framing plan. You'll see I didn't include the ones that are up above my covered porch. We won't need to have those. We only need the walls, typically that the doors and windows are built into, and that separate the outside from inside at floor level. So they're the ones that we're worried about. Now, all of my framing plans are already done in these various layers. They came out as House 2D elevations all the way to House 2D elevations 4. So all I'm going to do is work my way right through these things by cutting and pasting these all together. Now I'm just going to cut everything from elevations 3. I'm going to go to elevations 2. I'm going to click over here on the right and paste it. Now I've got everything from elevations 4, elevations 3, on to elevations 2. I'm going to just cut all that, just so that I end up with all of my framing plans here on my elevations layer. Now, if I wanted to, I could go in to Tools, Organization, and actually get rid of those design layers. I don't need them anymore. Because I've got everything on House 2D elevations now. Right here. So I've made a list of elevations I need, but before I worry about dragging those around, the first thing I'm going to do is create the viewport crop. So for this viewport, it's going to be 88 feet by 34 feet. I'm going to just center that at 0, 0 on the page. And I'm going to lock that. That's going to become my viewport crop eventually when I have all these arranged the way that I want them. Now what I'm going to do is find the frame numbers that I need to keep on this page. I don't need frame number 3. I do need frames 1, 2, and 4. So I'm going to leave these on the page, and the way that we'll organize these is by numerically counting up from left to right. I'm just going to move 1, 2, and 4 in there. Now the next ones I need are 5 and 6. So I'm going to find those in here. Here is 5, and here is 6. Then I'll also need 15, 21, and 22. So there is 15, and there's 21 and 22. So those are the exterior walls. They're the ones that I need in my viewport here. And now it's time to start to arrange those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this one over a little bit. We wanted to just try and balance these on the page. This is really easy to do. I have the first one and last one where I want them to be. I'm going to take those viewports and just use modify align distribute. I want to align them on their bottom edges. But now what I want to do, instead of aligning them, I'm going to distribute those and just choose spacing. That's going to just put an even amount of space between each viewport, but align the bottoms of them. There we go. That looks good. I'm going to do the same thing with these 3 viewports I'm going to keep right down here. Align bottom, distribute spacing. And there we go. That leaves me room for my label over here that I'm going to add and scale. Now we just need to fix these up. And I'm only going to fix one of these up, or 1 or 2 to give you an example of what we need to do. But what I'm going to do is click on this frame number 6. Now right now it's in a group. So first thing I'm going to do is ungroup it. But I will need to regroup it when I'm finished editing this. So I'm going to click ungroup. I'm going to turn the fill to none. Everything is selected. I'm going to make it blueprint blue, the bottom left blue in the classic Vectorworks colors. I'm going to make all the lines 0.35 thickness. So that's what that should look like. Now, there was a problem with mine, and we knew this before, with the framing of this. Normally, what I need to do is split studs off, and I might still do that on this one. But I definitely don't need this beam here, so I'm just going to delete it. I also don't need that stud to extend up to there. Now for this last one, I'm just going to choose it. I'm going to try to use my split tool. And just delete the top part of that. And that looks better. Now what I'd like you to do is anywhere we have these dimensions overlapping, we're just going to leave the end dimension. This just means the 2 studs are nailed right next to each other. So we are just going to delete this one right here. Now there's other things on there I could fine tune and fix up. But for this project, what I'd like you to do now is just regroup these and just fix up any major issues that we need to fix up. Over here, I'm looking at this one. This one looks like it's going to be really easy to fix up. Again, I'm going to ungroup it. I'm going to turn the fill to none. I'm going to make everything blueprint blue. I'm going to make everything 0.35. And all I really need to edit on this one is just where these dimensions right here are overlapping again. And I'm just going to delete the inside one. That one's done. I can go ahead and group that back together. Now remember, we can make the viewport for this at any time by just choosing the crop tool, view, create viewport. On this one, we will be setting the scale to 3/16 of an inch equals a foot. We'll use the paper and canvas that gives all of the viewport locations to make this viewport. Once that viewport's made, again, it'll be down in the bottom left-hand side of your poster, and it'll look just like this sample does. All of these will be changed and grouped back together. But you can see how this looks neat and clean with all the dimensions, and any of the major issues were fixed up. If you have a problem trying to edit or fix up any of these framing members on this, just let me know in class or during office hours. I'll help you get it fixed up. That's our last viewport for this poster. At this point, you should have a viewport made for everything. We can still go back and work on these. As you can see, I still need to add siding materials on my sample one here. So I'll go back and work on that, but we'll get this thing finished up, and hopefully some people will start to be printed this week. That's getting started on the exterior framing plans.